All right, folks, another week is upon us. It is Inside IOST, episode number 9. We're coming at you with our new IOST Callister swag. We're going to talk all about that. We're going to talk about a calendar of events. Where's IOST going to be this year in America? Where are they going to be in Asia? Where are they going to be in Europe? We're going to cover all of that. We're coming out with a new calendar actually on our site, so stay tuned for that. We also dive into some price discussion. We're going to talk about which way the price has gone. I'm the moderator of a brand new Telegram group where I'm doing some giveaways on the weekend, streaming on DLive. We'll talk about all that. And also Josh is going to dive into IOST Play. He might win some money. He might lose some money. All that and more is coming at you right now on Inside IOST. The cast and guests of Inside IOST do not intend to convey investment or financial advice. Please do your own research before choosing to buy or sell any digital assets or cryptocurrencies. Welcome back, folks. Another episode of Inside IOST. I am Evan Schindler. I am joined here by my partners and my friends at the Liobe Node, Josh Bryant, Peter K. And what are you guys drinking
with the official swag?
We got our swag.
Yeah, these mouse pads coming in from IOST Callister. Big shout out to them. We've got these mugs. If you don't know anything about IOST Callister, they're into like volunteer work, right?
Yeah, like food drives.
Are they based up in Canada?
Yes. I want to say, Canada somewhere.
So big thanks to them for these shirts. If you're looking for a node to vote for, and for some reason Liobe doesn't fit the bill, maybe you want to consider IOST Callister.
Also, if you're looking for swag, I'm pretty sure they sell, like because we're big shots at Liobe here, we get the mugs for free. Mm-hmm. We do like the promo for them. But they've got hats now. I think they got hoodies in the pipeline. So
hoodies.
Oh, so there's no excuse. Go out and buy it all.
Go to iostcallister.com if you're looking for some IOST swag. I was talking maybe a couple weeks back about trying to get a new mug.
Yeah.
And IOST Callister, they answered the call.
T-shirt's pretty soft. Feels good.
Nice.
Good quality.
Perfect. And I'm sure the hoodie is going to be high quality as well. Yeah. So check out IOST Callister. And they did just recently get elected. So thank you very much, IOST Callister. We appreciate it. We don't plug too many other nodes around here since kind of a conflict of interest. But
we do have our favorites.
We have our favorites. There's a few that have a place in our heart.
I mean, I think most voters out there that don't run their own nodes, they do vote for several nodes, right? I mean, before we decided to start nodes, that was my plan. So we talk about Metanix sometimes, and Callister, yeah.
Yep. Speaking of nodes, there is contribution rewards coming out fairly soon. We are hoping that we would have that information as of this episode. Maybe by the time this episode comes out, there will be information on that. But if you stay tuned on our Twitter or on our Telegram, we're definitely going to be announcing that pretty much as soon as it comes out. As soon as we know, we'll make sure that our community knows whether we're Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3, Tier 4, Tier 5. We're definitely not going to be any lower than Tier 5. I think that's as low as it goes. So, and
then we'll still process and share all the information we can find out about the reports and the process and how the decisions were made on a future episode.
Right. And I figure once those reports come out, we'll be able to do some research on our end, and maybe next week even will be a show just specifically about the reports, who made Tier 1 and why. I'm sure there's some early favorites like Endless Dice, making up a huge market share of all the transactions, which actually is a decent segue, Pete, because you and I had a little conversation before the show about the transactions. And, we're pro IOST, obviously. We're a node here, but what are you thinking about all this transaction volume? Is it getting pumped kind of out of control or what?
I mean, I don't know. It's good to hear that there's a lot of usage. I don't know. It's difficult. There's no real easy way to tell between transactions that are just for transaction's sake and people are just, bogus transactions. I'm going to say that. It doesn't mean they're non-transactions, but it's just inflation of the transaction account. And maybe not by IOST. I'm not saying it's the IOST Foundation, but whoever with whatever interests has, in doing that. But it's great to see that the network has the capacity for lots of transactions. But it might become more and more tired as a news point as the weeks go on.
Yeah, I agree. I think that IOST's done a great job of quickly proving that they can match the TPS of Tron and of EOS and even now exceed the TPS of Ethereum, which Josh, you're going to dive into a little bit later on.
I mean, they can blow the TPS of Ethereum out of the water. This is the daily transaction volume,
Okay,
which is impressive in a different way. It's not the network's capacity now; it's the actual, I guess, number of accounts doing transactions on it and things like that.
Okay, yeah. So I think what I meant to say is that they're able to now prove that the TPS can reach a higher level. This is the proven use case of that. But what we want to see, and of course, even with traditional stacks not using blockchain, dApps or applications, it takes forever for these things to catch on. And it always seems like when you see a new protocol like EOS or like Tron or like now IOST, people are anxious to see this killer dApp come out and revolutionize the whole space and get all these users. But look at an app even like Airbnb or like Uber. Those are apps that everyone uses. Everyone has it on their phone, but it took 5 years for them to reach, market saturation like they did. So we want to see eventually this turn into those very useful dApps where the transactions have more weight to them, which I think is what you mean.
Well, what we're doing here, what we're seeing with all these transaction volume, it's not news announcing, hey, we've reached mass adoption. That's not the news point here. The news point is that we have created a network that can handle mass adoption, or at least to some extent can handle mass adoption when it does come. So it's not the killer app, but it is a good infrastructure for the killer app whenever that does come around.
Right, because when somebody's playing a game, the worst thing is if it gets hung up or it stalls or something like that. So having that architecture there so that that's never a problem is great.
Right.
And as adoption grows, the network can support that adoption.
Yeah, and I think that so far, I mean, IOST is still in its infancy, I think it's fair to say. So even though kind of crypto blockchain 2 months equals what feels like a year sometimes,
that's
crazy.
Sure.
But anyway, let's move right along to a couple other things we want to talk about on this week's show. IOST calendar of events. Going to be up on Liobi.io. Mm-hmm. What do we know about that? What do we want to tell the folks about where they can find that? What it's going to be all about?
Yeah, we're working on an exciting new addition to our website where people will be able to come and see a calendar of events that are coming up for IOST. So look for that in the upcoming weeks from Liobi.
And there is right now we just got basically a summary of all the events that IOST plans to be at, the IOST Foundation members. For Liobi, for our calendar, we're going to include all of that information. But if you're a node out there and you're planning some sort of meetup or some sort of event, we saw one in Japan recently. Hey guys, I just want to pause on the video right here and tell you that Pete and I are about to get our wires crossed. We're actually both referencing different tweets about different events that happened in Japan around the same time. I am talking about IOST Japan and Eversystem, who hosted an IOST blockchain workshop in Nagoya, and Pete is talking about an IOST Japanese developer community that held an IOST hackathon in Osaka. So if you're a little bit confused in this part, it's because we were also confused, and we were talking about two things that happened in Japan, thinking it was the same thing. I forget what the name of the node was.
There was a hackathon. I don't know the node either. It
was called Eversystem.
Eversystem.
Yes. But things like this, where we see IOST Japan and Eversystem, they hosted an IOST blockchain workshop in Nagoya. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that.
This says Osaka. This says Osaka, Japan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What do we know about that hackathon so far?
I guess a lot of the information is probably still in Japanese or even has been translated into Chinese, but we know that Team Phi won, PHI, I guess it might be Phi, and they won by building a DAO service prototype on IOST, a decentralized autonomous organization, basically a way to govern an organization without the hierarchical structure and, conflicts of interest that we often see in organizations, traditional organizations. They won. It looks like they won 30,000 IOST. For doing that. And congratulations to Team Phi and to Eversystems for putting on a successful hackathon.
Sorry, I just can't stop drinking out of my IOST mug.
I'm right with you there. I'm right with you there.
But yeah, congratulations to the winners of that hackathon. That's awesome. And we want to have things like this on our calendar. I know pretty much all the nodes out there that are taking IOST seriously have to be considering events. That is one of the contribution reward categories. So if you have an event, whether it's, in Japan or in Tel Aviv or in New York City, let's have a place where everybody can kind of go and have a resource to know what's going on in IOST. I wish we would have known in advance that EverSystem was doing that. Maybe I would have took a flight across the pond over there and shown up to the hackathon. That would have been pretty awesome. So keep a lookout for that on Liobi.io. So another awesome thing that Liobi is involved in. About a week ago, 2 weekends ago, I was up late one night browsing around on the international IOST channel, and someone wanted to start a price discussion channel. And so I messaged them. I said, "Hey, just make it an open group. Let's make it. I'll invite a bunch of people." And now I'm the mod of this Telegram group. It's t.me/IOST price. So if you're out there and you want to talk specifically about price movement, I'm not a technical analysis wizard. I don't even really try, but it's fun to speculate a little bit on the price. And
so is the channel currently total panic? We were looking like we were going to go up to 2 cents if you look at the USD pair, and now it's at 1.2 cents.
Yeah, it's gone down.
Is it chaos there? Are people the end of the world, sell now, or
No, I can take a look at it right now, actually. I could probably throw it up on the screen for you folks. There's a lot of GIFs there of very negative things. Scarface shooting a gun at people.
You got to look at it.
And you're promoting this channel to our positive IOST community.
Monkeys trying to type. There's a rocket taking off, so that's not too bad.
You got to look at it like Bitcoin in the sense that, yeah, it's down, but think how far it's up from even like a month or two ago. I think when we started this node, it was like 0.6 of a penny or something like that, or 6.5 tenths of a penny. So even at the current price, it's doubled.
And I don't think you should just look at the US dollar price. I know we don't all have time to play the 4D chess that is USBTC, BTC IOST, USD IOST, and all this other stuff. But if the market kind of slumps for a while, we're probably not going to see a lot of movement. But as soon as the market starts to pick up, people that have made some money in BTC maybe, or are feeling more confident about the market as a whole, will likely start looking for new opportunities. And something that's now a live network, this is not financial advice, but something that's now a live network and is picking up users might seem to them to be a good investment opportunity.
Totally agree. Good time to accumulate.
Great time to accumulate. And if you do join that Telegram group for IOST price discussion, last weekend what I did was a little bit of a giveaway. I did a price prediction contest. Again, nothing is investment advice, especially coming out of my mouth, but basically what I said was I woke up, it was 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturday. I said, I want you to tell me what is the price in Satoshis, going to be in 12 hours at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's New York City time zone. And you have until 4 p.m. of the same time zone to make your prediction. And then what I did is I went on DLive, which is this new live streaming platform. Actually, PewDiePie just announced that he was switching all of his live streaming from Twitch directly, exclusively to this platform.
Ivan on Tech's been on DLive too.
Oh, has he? Mm-hmm. Awesome. Yeah. So
it's a blockchain-based platform, right? Or at least integrates somehow.
Yeah. So I went and did a live stream on DLive and just put up everybody's predictions. I had 12 people make predictions. 3 people got it on the nose. They guessed 270 sats. So I gave each of them 250 IOST out of my own wallet. So if you guys want to join, maybe I'll do it again next Saturday. Maybe Pete will be the one that gives away IOST next Saturday.
Maybe. If we call it Satoshi Saturday. Yeah, or Sat Saturday.
Sat Saturday.
I
kind of like that. Guess the Sat Saturday. That's kind of cool. So yeah, that again is t.me/IOST price if you want to check it out. Moving right along here then to IOST dApps. Now there was a recent article, Game of Coins. I know what Game of Thrones just started, right? The first.
Yep.
Were you able to catch it, Peter? The new episode?
I did. It was pretty good.
You're not going to give any spoilers away?
Feelings. I don't think I'll give any spoilers away except for that Arya dies. But no, it was pretty good. I'm actually most impressed with the music. because there's a lot of, we've been going 8 seasons now. Every character has their own theme and so on. And there were a lot of throwbacks to like, you had to remember the music from like season 1 in order to be like, oh, that's what he's doing there, And that's a great composer, Ramin Djawadi. He wrote for Westworld and Prison Break, these kind of shows. Yeah, there's an article that came out on Decrypt Media called Game of Coins, trying to hop on the Game of Thrones train. And it basically pits Tron against IOST as competing for like the new gaming blockchain platform. And has a lot of quotes in there from Jimmy Zhang, right? About Tron versus IOST. It's a good read. You should go check it out. I'm glad to see IOST getting more exposure in the media here.
Yeah, I think it's a cool article, and we haven't seen really Jimmy. I mean, he's and it's a good thing. He's been focused on looking inward, and anytime he comments, unlike some other people who run protocols mentioned in this article specifically, who like to bash Ethereum and dress up like an avocado at a conference and bully Vitalik, poor little Vitalik. But it was nice to see Zhang at least acknowledge what Tron has done. The article says specifically that he isn't impressed, and it's great that all public chains are actively working to innovate and improve on their networks. But he talked a lot about how some of these other protocols are going to need side chains, and he's very confident in the ability of the main net here for IOST to handle all the transactions without them needing any side chain resources. So
do we have an example we can show of what some people have been doing recently on IOST with all these transactions?
I think that's a great segue.
Funny you should ask.
Oh, this wasn't planned or anything.
We do no planning for these shows, actually. We just sit down and we're so in tune with each other and with everything that's going on. We just immediately sit down and magic comes out into the microphone.
They said in that article that IOST had bypassed Ethereum. Ethereum averages like 616,000 transactions daily, and that IOST is up to over 700,000 transactions daily. And at first it was just kind of an anomaly, but now it's been repeatedly happening. And I think a big part of that is some of these great games that are out there. So I'm going to walk through a couple of them today. We've done Endless Dice before on the show, which is really cool. I have on my screen right now, I'm in Token Pocket, and I have a wallet up, and you can see a balance in that wallet. And down on the bottom of the app is a button that says Discover. You click on that, and then... and
you are recording this for our viewers, right?
I am recording this, yes. Up top, under My dApps, you can see the dApps that I've been into. But if you scroll down, if you haven't been in yet, there's a menu that says IOST dApps. You want to click on that. And I'm going to go into IOST Play here. And IOST Play, if you go into it through Token Pocket, it's now hooked into your wallet. So it can access your IOST. And they have they have 3 separate games. The first one is Dice, which is really similar to the Endless Dice game that we did on a past episode, where I think Pete lost money on that game.
So if you win a lot of money... Come on, we entered this venture as
I'll send some your way. Let's see what happens. I already won. I played a couple of games before the show here, and I'm ahead. So let's see how it goes here.
So the
first one is Limbo. So I'm going to go in there. And with this game, you have a bet amount. So I have 50 in there. And then you have to do a cash out as, and you have to pick a number. So I'm going to pick the number 2. And then when you say place bet, it asks you to confirm. So I'll confirm that, and I'll do a face recognition here. I think my microphone's getting in the way. Oh. All right, so it ran, and the number that came up was 4.11.
So you won?
So I won, yeah, and the cash out was at 2. So I won that, and the payout was 100. So it's 2 times the amount that I bet.
And that is where our contribution rewards from your votes go.
We sit here and play these dApps all day long.
We play them so that you don't have to. How about that? So, and then you can actually look. When a nice thing about the IOST Play is you can actually see at the bottom of the screen, right? There's you can see your specific
right. So under my bets, you click on
bets.
that, and it shows that I just won 100 IOST.
So what else do they have on there? They have another game.
Yeah.
The Ring?
That was Limbo. The second game is Ring, and on this one, it's this big ring. It looks like a roulette wheel, and some of the slots are orange, and some of them are gray. And again, here I'll bet 50. And the multipliers, you can choose from the most conservative, which is 1.2, all the way up to the most difficult.
Let's go hard.
As you go all the way up, you can see that the number of orange squares reduces until it's like 1 out of however many are in this ring, which is a 50x bet.
Wow.
So let's go for,
50x.
I'm going to do 3x here, which looks to me kind of like half and half. I don't know. Maybe, no, 2x is exactly half and half. It looks like.
3x.
So I'm going to go 3x, and then you put 50 down. And you spin, and if you end up on an orange, then you win.
All right, let's see it.
Let's run it here. Got to do the confirm. And there it's spinning. I lost.
Oh,
I was one off.
One off.
So
another
close.
master of coin.
So close. So if I go down to my bets, you can see that I lost 50 there, but I won 100 a little bit earlier on this.
Yeah,
so I'm still up.
And on the show, you broke even. So
these games are really cool. They got 3 of them here. Like good format, easy to play. Plug right into your wallet. So
I'll say with IOST, it's IOST Play, right?
Yeah.
I was really impressed with just the clean lines and logos of the interface. It's hey. Some UX improvements over some of the things.
Yeah, super easy to play
and
really
on
nice
mobile
to look
too.
at.
Yeah.
On mobile, where it's usually not. Usually, you can't even play most of these games on mobile.
Right,
so
you try to scroll and it doesn't scroll. And
yeah, I believe we were also trying to maybe do a demo of Crypto Derby today, but had a little bit of issues with them. So we're gonna hold off.
I was
on
in there
that
trying
one.
to pick a horse and it just wasn't working out.
Hopefully, in the near future, we'll be able to show that one off.
Wasn't quite as easy as heading to the racetrack like Pete likes to do almost every weekend. Okay, well, just want to wrap up.
That's the best you got? That's the best you got? Really?
What? You're a big horse gambler, aren't you?
Yeah,
Aren't you a jockey?
A jockey?
Yeah.
Do jockeys gamble? Are they allowed to gamble?
I think you would definitely not be allowed to gamble.
They probably do anyway, right? You bet on themselves.
If the mob gets you early, the mob's just creeping around looking for small sized people to ask if they want to fix a race for them. Once you fix one race, then you're in. You can't get out.
How much to lose a race? Yeah.
All right. So anyway, just want to wrap up this week's show with a little bit of news from Liobe. It's not really news, just something to look forward to. Peter and I are both going to be at Consensus Week in New York City.
There's 3 events in Consensus Week that IOST might be at that you should take a look at, and we'll get confirmation soon. There's Consensus from May 13th to 15th, and they're considering Consensus Construct, which is basically for developers. IOST is hopefully going to be speaking there. No promises yet. There's New York Block Asia 2, which focuses on the blockchain ecosystem in Asia. Obviously, IOST hopes to be a huge player in Asia and from Asia. And IOST has applied and might be speaking there. And then there's ETH New York, which has about 500 developers or so that it'll attract, and that's May 17th through 19th. So if you're interested in crypto and you're heading over to Blockchain Week in New York City, keep an eye out here. We'll tell you if these are ever confirmed as IOST events.
Yeah, and Peter and I will both be there, so if you're interested in meeting the cast of Inside IOST, definitely give us a shout-out. Message us on Telegram, head into our Liobe IOST node Telegram group. We're pretty responsive there. Pete usually stays up till 3 a.m. and I wake up at 3 a.m. Somehow
that's the only reason we do that. Yeah, we moved our hours totally to just handle this Telegram.
Just to have 24-hour dedication.
Well, it's a global audience, so we got to do it, and we got people on there from all over the world.
Exactly. So we're looking forward to Consensus again. Just send us a message. We'd love to meet up with you and hang out in New York City in a couple weeks in May. And if you guys don't have anything else, I believe that is the end of this week's show.
Well, remember, apparently in New York City, there might also be some of those Sao June cards available.
Oh, yeah. We're going to leave the hints at that for now. but
I don't mean from us. I mean from IOST.
oh well, yeah, from IOST.
They've announced that.
They
in
did
some
say
article.
that, so we'll see if anyone's able to get their hands on those, maybe even before we do. Yeah, so that's still pretty much up in the air. But anyway, I think that's the end of the show, unless Pete wants to say something else. Josh, you want to say anything else? All right. So for Peter Kay and for Josh Bryant, I am Evan Schindler. This is Inside IOST, and we will see you next week.